He play all day. What's up, Teen Talk fam? It's your host, Deshaun B, here with
Miss KK.
Your boy DJ Daddy in the building.
Your boy Sean.
And the legendary Ajane Jaco.
We gonna take it back just once again. It was a little glad. What's up, Teen Talk fam? It's your host, Deshaun B, here with
Miss KK.
Your boy DJ Daddy in the building.
Your boy Sean.
And the legendary Ajane Jaco.
Thank you all for tuning into our show. We have a lot of interesting topics lined up today. But first, let's get started with some of Miss Nikki's success stories for this week. Kayla, what are some of your successes this week?
This week, there's been multiple successes. God has really been flowing in the blessings for me, things I've been waiting on. I recently got hired for a new job at the university, which I've been wanting. I moved out of my apartment, and we got some money back from some failed vacations because of COVID-19. So it's been really a great week for me.
Period.
Okay. I love to hear it. I also
Congratulations.
seen that UNLV has got their first Black president. So I'm real excited about that and see what type of changes might come with his presence in the upcoming August. Day, what are some of your successes this week?
Well, I'm just blessed to be here. You know me. I'm just always thankful, to be here with you guys and, to be blessed to be woken up this morning.
That's always a success. A blessing.
It's always a success,
How about you, legendary Ajane?
Well, knowledge is power. And I took my first step and I just finished reading this book about real estate and I actually learned a lot. So I'm proud of myself for that.
Okay. Do I sense you going into real estate and selling some homes pretty soon?
Maybe you might foresee that in the future. You know what I'm saying?
That's good to hear. I'm glad that you're expanding your knowledge and doing something very productive throughout the week. How about you, Sean? Tell us some of your successes.
Well, I woke up this morning and I made some food, like some breakfast, because I don't eat breakfast like that for real. And I was like, I want some pancakes and some eggs. So I made some pancakes and some eggs and I sat down this meeting with you guys and let's do this show, man.
That sounds like a good, healthy breakfast. I needed something like that this morning. Well, congratulations on all your successes this week. Remember to celebrate even your smallest successes every day and throughout this week. All right, it's time to get the teens talking. Today's show is dedicated to the importance of self-branding and how your brand can dictate the choices you take in life. A personal brand is a conscious or intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual by positioning them as an authority in their industry or elevating their credibility. A great way to understand your personal brand is to think to yourself, what do people say when they hear my name? What words or people am I associated with? And what do my actions say about my character? If you can pinpoint a trend of these answers, you have found what your brand is. Legendary Ajane, name one word that explains.
One word that describes my brand?
Yes, or explains your personal brand.
Legendary.
Yeah. Okay, but give us a little more insight on why you feel your brand is legendary.
I would say legendary because the things that I plan on doing or what I represent are typically things that people don't do. And only legends really do things that, seem crazy in the beginning, but they always work out for the best.
Okay.
Definitely. That goes to that you're an innovator. You see past the moon. So that's a great thing. Kayla, tell us about your brand. What is one word that explains your personal brand?
Man, I can kind of come up with a phrase, but one word I feel like is hardworking. I don't think anyone would knock that I am somebody who doesn't give 110% when they're given a task or an opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Given the task or the opportunity.
Yeah.
How about you, Sean? Tell us about your personal brand.
Well, there's so many words to choose from. I'm just like
I'm about to say, don't play with us right now.
Honestly, I'm gonna say patient, and the reason why is because there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world right now, and in my life as well. And I've always managed to be patient with things. I tend to let things be how it is. I see how things are gonna go. I can only do so much at one point in time. I can only do so much at a time, and it's like I just got to be patient because I know God's gonna give me what I deserve, and I'm gonna work hard for what I deserve. Period. You feel me?
I like that.
Good.
I like that too.
answer.
And it's just good to know with being patient what comes at the end. We can only be as prepared as what we can be. So I realize we can't beat ourselves up over the things that we're not prepared for because, hey, that's life. So I love the fact that you had patience as yours. Day, why do you think a personal brand is so important?
I feel like a personal brand is really, really important, in business because it describes who you are and what you represent.
Exactly. Legendary. Can you tell us about any businesses that really stick out to you when it comes to their personal branding and who they are?
I'm gonna have to think on that one. You got to pass to somebody else.
Kayla, can you help her a little bit? What are some brands that you see trending right now that really showcase who they are?
One brand, or that two brands, I will say, that I think stick out really well when it comes to like them always being about their business and being about one thing. And I think the top one is always going to be Nike, just because it's like their athletics, and they not only do they reach out to a diverse group of athletes, they are consistent with their punchline, just do it. That's all you see. They never tried or even attempted to come up with something new because it works for them and they're used to that. So I think that's a very strong brand. Another one I think is Fenty by Rihanna. It's a new brand that she started, I want to say like maybe 5 years ago, but don't quote me. It's been a while, but she's still relatively new. And when it comes to her makeup, she's about diversity. And when it comes to her lingerie series, her bedtime, clothes and stuff, she's about diversity too. She has things for every person, every shape, every gender. And I think that speaks volumes to what she stands for as a person.
And I also want to touch bases on how you mentioned Nike and their Just Do It. I feel like every commercial that they do, it always resonates with the people. It always has a deeper message than what people will perceive right away. Yeah. They're always on point. Whatever's going on in the world, just know Nike.
Unmute yourself.
And I will. Thank you for catching that. Sean, how can your personal brand affect relationships in your life?
By coming, I would say about the people that you come across with in your life. Come back to me on that one. Yeah, come back to me on that one.
I'm gonna go ahead and help you. I realized that the relationships that you keep on your everyday routine are the same people who are on the same mission, the same drive as you. So if you keep good energy around you, then good things will happen, and their blessings will kind of rub off on you because good energy travels. So I feel like just being in good relationships with your friends, business, or companionships, you just always need to be level-headed with whoever you have a relationship with. Ajane, can you add anything to that?
Honestly, go ahead, Kayla.
I was just gonna say that, and it can also affect who you let into your life, because a lot of the times, if you don't match what I'm giving, like if you don't match my vibe, if you don't match the type of personal brand I'm trying to give to the world, then I might not be able to associate with you. And sometimes, especially when you have childhood friends, it's one of those things that it's difficult to explain to people, and it's kind of hard to keep that relationship. But what about you, Ajane?
I'm sorry. Can I also jump in that? I feel like
Okay, go.
I feel like mastering your brand is, just placing yourself with, like you said, mutual brands. People who are on the same mission, people who are even better than you, so you can better yourself.
Yeah.
Just professionalism. That's the key. I feel like
Okay, I love how you spoke on professionalism. Do you feel like you have to be a specific profession to have a strong personal brand?
No, any profession. If you want to finish that up, I was in there.
I could honestly say that branding is really a part of who you are. It's whether it's business wise or how you walk into a room, it's your reputation. So, man.
It's like,
Man,
I got you. It's like
look, these are some good questions today, okay?
it's like
I'm loving it.
how you walk, how you talk, and how you just carry yourself as a person is what people are gonna see you as. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, you're gonna be who you are because that's who God made you. That's how He made you. That's how He made you. You can't change yourself based on the society or what people say. It's from what comes from you and what you give out to the world, which is how they're gonna perceive you as a person. You feel me?
And I want to touch bases on what you said. It's just your personal brand. I realize whenever you walk in a room, based off how positive and confident you are in what's going on, that will determine if you get the opportunity that you're kind of walking into. Just having that confidence, your confidence with your personal brand is everything. Kayla, when you think of someone who has a strong personal brand, what are some things you feel like it took to accomplish that?
I think when it comes to building your personal brand, it comes from it involves like growth. I think growth is the number one thing. I feel like all of us, even though we are relatively young to most people, but we can all say that our brands have changed from elementary to middle school to high school to maybe even college. Growth is a very big factor of that. And I also believe self-awareness is also key, because if you are just somebody who thinks you're just amazing and everybody loves you and you walk into a room, it's just amazing, but sometimes that's not always the case. And sometimes it takes you looking at yourself in the mirror to be like, what are the things I have to work on? How do people really feel about me? Being open to hearing people's criticisms and their feedback is something that really will build your personal brand. It's like having your own business. I myself am my business, and these people who I'm around are my consumers. So I need to ask them what I'm messing up on, what I need to fix, what I'm great on, and what I need to push.
Can I hit on that as well?
Okay, go ahead, Daddy. Let us know your
Okay.
thoughts.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I feel like, just the concept of success is just going from failure to failure without losing, any enthusiasm. Just from experience, going through, don't be scared to fail. Us, especially being young, you want to fail as young as possible so you can have the experience and be able to develop, and grow off of that and build. And like you said, growth, just be able to grow.
And Daddy, I want to touch bases on the fact that you said fail. I know a lot of people are afraid of failing, but I recently realized it's okay to fail as long as you fail forward. Because what comes with failing comes with a lot of progression, a lot of progress. And I realized that some of the things that we be thinking that are actions that could be taken overnight are things that kind of happen in different seasons. And sometimes some people come in your life to move you to get to your goal. They're just moving you a certain percentage. They're moving you probably from 60 to 80. You still trying to, but that's able to help you elevate your mind to move you that extra percentage that you needed. So that's what I really have to say about failure. It is just real simple. But Kayla, what are your thoughts on that? Because I noticed that we all have experienced some failures this year. What are some ways that you overcame your failure?
Accepting them. I think for a while you go through like being like, oh, that couldn't have happened to me. I can't believe I did that. Or why did they do me like that? And sometimes you just got to chalk it to the game and be like, you know what? That I did do that. I did fail. I did mess up. How am I going to move from this? Like you said, how am I going to fall forward? I'm not going to sit here and fail and then just sit in it and fall backwards. I'm going to find ways to pick myself back up, learn from the mistake and learn from the failure, and how to get that next win.
And some people really got to realize that too, because once you fail, and trust me, because once you fail, it's gonna feel like there's no hope left. It's gonna feel like you giving up. But you have to realize that at the end of the day, that you got to get up and keep pushing, because like you said, we all still young, man. We all still got so many years and so much progressing to do. It's ridiculous. And it's like so much has happened already in this year at the beginning. This year is not even over yet. So
I feel like I feel like the key word to that would just be consistent, you know, just be consistent on your actions, your goals, and, you know, just live for a purpose, you know. Not too many people live for a purpose.
Exactly. I definitely want to ask you guys before we get off, what does success mean to you, starting with legendary Ajane?
There's no exact way you can pinpoint success. I believe that success is progression and just walking in your purpose, because baby steps matter. And sometimes people forget that, you know, you can't despise small beginnings. So success is different for everyone.
Okay, I love that. And Kayla, what are your thoughts on success? How can a person really determine if they're successful at this moment?
Oh, that second part of that question is kind of hard.
I can answer that second part.
I think, well, I would say when it comes to knowing where your success is, I think you have to be realistic about what point you are in your life. Because I know for me, I'm one of those people where I'm like, oh, I am so young, but I'm about to try to do what these 20-year-olds are doing and be successful at it. And sometimes you just can't do that. And you have to be like, well, for my age, I've been able to do all of these things. I need to be proud of that. I need to be like, oh, I'm successful for that. And a lot of the times, because we're shooting for the stars and we're shooting for this number one big goal, that it's hard for us to realize all those little small successes that we're taking for granted. So for success, for me, and how I realize it is what point am I in my life? What are other people who are at that point in my life are doing? And where am I on the bar? Where am I on that scale? And if I'm at the top of it, I'm like, okay, girl, you doing your thing. You good. Don't even worry about it. So that's how I feel.
Oh, okay. How about you, Sean? How do you view success?
You know, I'm going to say a few phrases, and this is what I'm going to say. Your goals are accomplished. That's the first thing. The things that you have pictured yourself becoming and doing, and you have accomplished that goal, then you can go ahead and call yourself successful. I feel like personally successful is limitless at this point. I personally feel like success can just last you your whole life depending on how you do it. You feel me? Like Kayla said, all those small steps, all those small successes it takes to get to where you can live comfortably and don't have to worry about anything. You feel me? That's what I gotta say.
How about you, Dede? How do you define?
I feel like, you know, success is what you make it. You know, I'm on Teen Talk today with you guys. I can say I'm successful. You know, I'm on a radio show, you know, live on air. You know, I could say I'm successful. But I feel like, you know, it's the process that, you know, like you say, you mentioned having a big goal. It's the process of getting to the goal that really makes a person who they are, not actually getting the goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the process of getting to the top that's going to make you the person who you are. It's going to build your character, you know, your character, rather than, you know, being at the top and, you know, having everything, you know.
Okay. All of you guys saying something very great. And I just love the fact how each person really didn't put a cap on what success really was. You were just saying, you know what? Success is what you make it. And I want to say we all are very successful. And just looking back on how we ignore our small successes goes to show you that we're always looking so forward. We're always trying to be the best version of ourselves. But I encourage everybody to reflect on where they are right now in their life and just congratulate yourself on all your small successes, kind of like what we do with Miss Nikki's success stories. But thank you all for tuning into this Teen Talk conversation this week. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Teen Talk Vegas 881, and also check us out at teentalkvegas.com. And stay tuned for more Teen Talk after this.